Hey everybody, welcome back. This is our second Gather Town tutorial for the RPG Alliance Con 2021. Today I'm going to talk about, and this is aimed really at game masters that might want to build a room in our space and curate a map to create a bit of an adventure scenario for people to run around in. So again, it's if you worked on Roll20, it's pretty much very similar, right? You're always going to start with the map. But because it's GatherTown and it's new, let's go to the GatherTown um, interface. And all you, again, do is just go ahead and do a search for GatherTown. It will log you in. And in our introduction video, we kind of go into how to find GatherTown and how to log in. So please refer to that. I'm going to assume in this that you've already gone to GatherTown, signed up, have an avatar, have explored the templates a little bit, and hopefully have explored a little bit of our con site. So I'm going to build a map. And this is actually aimed also at exhibitors who are thinking about building a storefront map or room in our GatherTown space. So let's go into our GatherTown space right now, the RPG Alliance Con 2021. And let's get in there and see what the deal is. What is this thing? Oh, there we go. In there and get out of there. Oh, we got a lot of stuff going on today. Let's get you back on here. Yes, GatherTown help is your friend. So I'm logging into the space. I'm already set up my webcam, which I'm not using, and my mic, which I'm not using because I'm recording right now. OBS gets a little weird. So this is our hub space of our con. To the left, we have Dickens Pub. You go in through the door and you get into our gaming center and our lounge where we'll be doing some social events. And then you're here on our festival grounds map. So this is a custom space that I built using the map maker function on GatherTown. And what we did is we added our own map and then we started adding objects onto it. And so we're going to kind of get into it and add another map that will link to this to kind of show you the basics. It's once you do it and mess around with it for like an hour or two, it's fairly easy. If you can set up your own games on Roll20, this is going to be super easy for you. Turn off that mini map. Exit out. I just want to give credit where credit is due. I am a patron of these fine people at Chez Piku Maps. And I think I can't even get close to that, right? Because, yeah, you can't walk in water. Or could you? Could I? Maybe I could. Anyway, I just want to point out their logo here. They're actually who I'm going to be using their maps for today. So if I go into their website here, see here. So here they are, Chez, I hope I'm pronouncing that right, Chez and Piku. They create maps on Patreon. I am a patron there. They have a commercial license. That's what I look for anyone that I'm going to be supporting on Patreon when it comes to map products. And then it has really using the maps in commercial products. Now, because we're selling badges, but we're a nonprofit and we always end up in the red. We do still want to be respectful of the commercial license and what we can and cannot do with the commercial license. Part of the commercial license in this case is making sure we put their logo on our maps or in our space and we give credit to them. So that's where we got their logo here. And that's why their logo is on our map space. These guys are really cool because I really like their style. I really like their products. And so if you want to really have a good look at their maps, and I can't say enough about them, You can go to their jpiku.com site and you can scroll down and look at the maps. And then if you have a map that you like in particular, you can just click on it. This one is the Celestial Gate. And they usually do like if you can see, right, they usually do 10, 15 different versions of the map, nighttime, daytime, different colors, different effects. This one is amazing. Look at all the different versions you get. So they're fantastic. They come gridded and ungridded, and I just really, I mean, I can't say enough about their products. I think it's very high quality work, and I'm very proud to be a patron of them. So you'll see here that as we go through, again, a lot of different styles, a lot of different settings, locales, and they've been around for a while, so that they have quite a bit of a selection for your gaming needs, and a lot of different taverns and stuff, and wizard layers and dragon layers and whatnot. And so this is where we got our festival grounds background for. It's called the Monster Festival, I think, or Monster Fair. And yeah, here it is right here. The Medieval Monster Fair. So that is what we use exactly. And picked a daylight one. We picked one that had, we had picked this one with the griffins and bugbear because I want to do things with those particular items. Yeah. So that's where we sourced out the map. So you want to source out the map and you want to download it to your computer. And again, we recommend gridless because when you are actually working on the map, you don't really want your people experiencing grids, not on GatherTown. It would just mess up the visual experience. So once I get back to my actual space, I'm going to go over to the left-hand side and click on the hammer icon to build. I'm going to open up Edit in the Map Maker. Now what we did to create our space is that we created a space first using a template, and that template was the main tavern. And this is a template that you get to use free from GatherTown. And then we just slowly started adding in our own maps. And to create a map, you just go into the right-hand corner menu in your map, make your interface. And I guess really I should go over the basics. There's essentially 3 interfaces. You have the top menu, objects for putting in, table, chairs, NPCs, that sort of thing. Tile effects. This defines your space. So whether your space, if you see these red tiles, those are impassable spaces or cells or blocks that the avatars can't go through. So you use them for walls and for the edge of your map. The spawn green spots. And if you go down here, you'll see that we have a spawn green spot there. And you can just put them on. If you have spawn clicked, I'm not explaining this well, I'm sorry. I would suggest you go select tile effects, and then go to the right to spawn, and then you'll see that your stamp has the little green square, and then that you just click on the spots that you want to be spawning areas for people that come into the space. If you want to turn off the stamp, you just click on select, and you can see it doesn't stamp anymore. This left-hand side really is your bread and butter. You got your select tool, you got your stamp tool, you got your eraser tool, and you got your moving the map hand tool. You got your zoom in, your zoom out, undo, redo. So again, the hand tool is pretty cool. You can move yourself around the map a little quicker. Right? And everything else is pretty self-explanatory. The tile effect is, again, we're going to set up a lot of functionality of the space. But what I'd like to do is I'll just take you out of this and go back to rooms. Go back to the festival ground. And we'll build a room from here. I'm going to click on create a new room. I'm going to put in there, I'm going to put King's room. Oh crap, where did I lose it? Come on now, stay in there. I'm going to name it King's room. And then enter. And then you get this window that says create a new room. You can create from a template like their tavern or their gaming room. You can choose from an existing space. So if you already have another space you've created, you can link to that. Or you can create a blank room. In this case, we're going to create a blank room because we want to upload our own map. So I'm going to upload a background map. You could draw your own map and put in blocks so that you can create a room that looks very much like the tavern using their building blocks. But if you want to upload your own map, especially if you're a publisher and you have your own products and you want to use one of your own maps to kind of show how cool your maps are, then this might be the way for you to go. So I have all my maps in my GatherTown file under maps. And I'm going to go to the floating castle map, and I'm going to go to the King's Room version of it. And it's going to load it up. Now, where did I get this floating castle map? Well, it's, again, it's on my wonderful Shays Piku map building guys or people. I'm not sure. Yeah, actually, I think it's a team. And I found it on here under the floating castle. And I'm just going to try and make like just an example of how we would make a storefront or even an adventure room. So I went here, I looked at all their different types, and I want to find an interesting King's room or a Thrones room. I guess I've got the Thrones room actually. Anyway, and I picked that, and that's what we're going to use. So if I go back to the map maker, here we are. So I'm going to just use Control and zoom out with my mouse and use the hand and just center this up a little bit so I can get it in my visual range. We're going to set up the space first. There you go. There's the map uploaded. Now, a couple things to remember about maps. Okay, you are limited to maps that are 3 megs MBs in size. So you don't want to use a big map. Also with the avatars, and just again looking at the avatars here, each square is 32 pixels, right? And the avatars that are about this avatar NPC that I use here is I made it 40 pixels, and it matches up pretty well in size. You can see with the player avatars next to it, the Echo Torch Witch standing next to it, that it's actually a pretty good size. Your maps, I wouldn't go more than the largest size being 2,000 pixels. And I think when you're on GatherTown and you look at their common questions, they do talk about their maps being, about 1,600 pixels as being kind of the max range that they would like. But this, I generally just do 2,000 as a really good frame of reference, at least for this particular map maker and the sizes that they produce their maps. You're going to have to play around with it a little bit on your own if you're building your own room. So again, this is why you don't want to get a gridded map, because in the map maker you have a grid. And again, these grids are 32 pixels. So now you want to start defining the space. So I'm going to go to the left-hand menu, hit select, go up to tile effects, and I want to close in the map so we have it very defined where the avatars can go, because obviously we don't want them walking on the clouds, because that would be crazy. So we're going to click on Impassable, and then you'll see that my stamp tool now has this red box following around my cursor. And so we're going to start placing that up. So this defines just the area that avatars can go. So you can just hold down your left button on your mouse and drag it around. Voila. Red wall, avatars cannot go through that. It's not the greatest around curves, but it's workable. So we're just defining our walls at this point. And it's as easy as that. Just follow the lines on your map, and away you go. Now you can see here with this wall, it doesn't always correctly line up with your map. That's just the nature of the beast. So it's not a perfect art by any means. Now, if you make a mistake and you put a red block on a space that you didn't want to put, then it's very easy to, so say I put a red block right here, down here, right in the middle of the corridor. That sucks. I would just go to the left-hand menu, click on the eraser, and come on down and get rid of those red blocks. And again, you can just hold down your mouse and just run it through, and it's great. Turn off the eraser by hitting Select Tool again, going back to Impassable, and continue on with your outline. Right. There's a door, there's a wall, away we go. And again, if you made a mistake or as you're dragging it down, it messes out something, you easily go back and click the doorway there and use the erase to fix it. All right. So I just want to use a simple map to show you guys this part. Because who wants to watch me drawing red lines all freaking day, right? No, you guys got better things to do. You got places to go, people to see, adventures to write. So if I want to clean up this one, again, I'm just grabbing the eraser tool and just get that out of there. All right, so I don't have all the walls done, but I've got a good enough bit of it so you can kind of get the sense. Every room you're in that you make, you have to put at least one spawn tile. So that's the green spawn on the right-hand menu. You want to click on that, and again, you have now the green square as your stamp. So where do you want people to land? I want them to enter this room at the very end of the throne room. So I'll stamp a couple spaces there. And then I'll click select so that the stamp turns off, and there is my spawning zone right there. Right? I'm like, oh, well, maybe I should do these back walls. I'll click back on there and quickly put the back walls on. And I'm going too fast, so it's skipping. So you do have to just kind of slowly drag it across that wall. There you go. Let's finish this up here because I am an A-type personality and get that done. Are you bored yet? Oh, maybe you're bored. If you're in Gather Town and you're listening to this, you could actually work alongside me and do your own map at the same time. Yeah, wouldn't that be fun? Crazy. All right. We're going to move on to the next kind of setting up the space type thing. Look at, I have a crooked line up there. Oh, I got crooked shit all over the place. This is crazy. What a messed up throne room. People are going to be walking into the walls. Anyway. Doesn't need to be perfect, right? Okay, so in order for people to leave this space and go back to the main festival area, we want to set up the portal function. Portals teleport people to other rooms or spaces. That's how it's described. Again, it's going to be in the same area. So I would just go here. I click on the first square, and in this functionality, you have to pick where you're going to land. Are you going to portal to another space? Or you're going to portal to another room. So every space is made of rooms, but if you do have separate spaces, so let's say we have a fantasy space and then I have a sci-fi space, I can have a portal into the sci-fi space. Okay, but I'm going to do it from one room to another, and I'm going to have it back in the festival grounds because that's our hub. And I've been kind of playing around with the idea of putting things in different areas. So if we were building a storefront for, again, the castle is more of a fantasy setting. Then I would, let's see, who does fantasy stuff? Oh man, I'd probably pick, see, design mechanics. Yeah. So I didn't explain that well as I was doing it. Did I? Ha! Let's do it again. Okay, so if I was building a storefront from design mechanics, I would do the port at the exit. I would pick the room I want it to go to, in this case, the festival grounds. I would drag the map down to the entrance of the booth that people would respawn at. And then as soon as I click in front of the booth, that section, it doesn't light up, but it does tell the app where you want people to land, right? So then I want to do another one because I want to have a fairly decent area for them to exit out. Festival grounds, and again, just pulling it down to the booth. Come on, man, pull down to the booth. Now, and put the stamp back on, and this is where I want people to just respawn out of that castle. So that's cool. Yeah. So that's spawning. And so if you are then, this is your storefront, you want to start putting items that would link up to your store. And this is where you can actually, let's look at their website. Maybe this wasn't a good idea because I think this might have been some of the vendors' websites they disabled the ability to embed to their website and to embed into their web store, link into an object from another website. So if we go there, and I'm wondering if this is one of the ones I had a problem with, right? So you could simply go to their store. In this case, go to their product. Ooh, wow. For Mithras. And even go here, save the image. And what we're trying to do is save the image and use it as a object that we can then embed the link back into the store. So people could look at the image, click on it, and see where it is in the store in order to purchase it, right? So that's kind of the idea. So if I want to create a space on my hard drive, put design, Mac, go here into it, put Mithras. See if we can get this actually to work. Now again, when you're putting in objects to populate your store, you've got to remember the size component issue, right? And again, each one of those squares is 32 pixels. So, you put in, drop in something that's 200 pixels, it's like, boom, going to take over the whole entire map, and it's going to look like crap. So that's something that you have to really think about when you're putting in objects, you usually have to take the image and you're going to have to open it up in whatever Photoshop or whatever image program you use. I like Paint 3D because it's free, it works really well, and it's just easy to use, right? And it can handle a lot of different sizes. What you can also do, though, is in the GatherTown how to use objects. They recommend using this website, which is pixlr.com, and you can quickly and easily make images there. You can kind of see that I've used it to make some images transparent and whatnot. So let's just see if I can get this to work. This is more an image of the game. And so we're not doing any transparencies, but we are going to maybe not crop it, but we're definitely going to resize it. And you can see the size right there. So I'll take the smaller size and make it, like I said, usually 40 is what we use for NPC objects. I would probably make this a 60 and see what it looks like. Because you do want the person to be able to see it. So there it is showing up in my file download. I'm going to change the name to 60 so I know it's 60 pixels and bring it down. And then we're going to pop it into the map. So you can kind of see in this map we have a map room, we have a lounge area, so we can populate this whole area or map with products if this is going to be a web store. You know, obviously, if you want a space like this, then you have to think about how it's going to present as an avatar walking in. It should be things that are very interactable with the avatar, so the person can kind of click on stuff, look at stuff. If you want their links to the web store, if they want your links to the YouTube store, that's what you want to do. If you are doing things like building an adventure, then you want to look at the map and think of, okay, where can I put a trap? Where can I place an NPC? And what kind of script do I want the NPC to have? So if I want to put that object down, so say I want to have a library with a bunch of books, which are the products of this particular storefront, I'd go make sure objects on the top menu are clicked. Click the select button, go over to objects, and hit the more objects button to get the interface. And in the interface, in order to upload your own stuff, you want to hit upload, upload new. Then it's going to say drag something in there, so I can just grab the Mythros 60 I just made, resize, throw it in there. And there it is. I can give it a name. Call it a tome because we're building a library. And you can choose what the object interactions are. Now these objects, it's very simple, right? You only really can do one thing. So you can choose no interaction. You can embed your website address in there or your web store address. You can embed an image. So if we want to put a larger image of this thing, we could do that. If you want to embed a video, so if they had a YouTube video that says how to play this system, you could do that. You could do external call if you were going to have a game that's on Zoom or something, or you can just put a note on it, right? Where you can just say, hey, this is this game, blah, blah, blah. I think in this case, because it does have a space on a web store, even though it's super popular and sold out, you would save the link, copy the link, pop it in, and just put the link in the embed website right there. And we'll do an activation distance. It defaults to 3 squares activation. If you really want it to light up with that yellow highlight, you do 5 or 6. Very easy. And there it is. It's loading up now. You can see it now in our menu on the right-hand side with your objects. And you can see that it is on my stamp. So it's floating around following my cursor, and it wants me to stamp it somewhere. So where should I put that? That's a good question, right? Do I want to have it here? Like, if you had a shelf, we'll put it over here on the map. And there it is. Now I'm going to go ahead and hit save. Now I haven't created an entranceway to this yet. So let's go back to our festival grounds, because I want to test this out with my avatar. We're going to go down to that particular storefront. Let's go in. So there we go. We got design mechanism in our exhibitor's alley. I guess this is more an exhibitor's alley video. I'm going to go ahead and hit tiles, hit select, and I'm going to go ahead and put a portal. Ooh, do I do a portal? Yeah, because then they could teleport them in there. Well, you can see I haven't really thought this completely through, right? But let's just put a portal. Say if they want to really go check it out, I'll put a portal there right beside the token, and I'll put it in the king's room. Then I'll have to locate it in the king's room. And I'll just put it on top of the spawning. Let's do a second one. So, because sometimes people, I want to give them at least 2 spaces for the portal, so they have a better chance of hitting it. And what we probably do is put a sign icon or a sign object on this, so they know, hey, if I step here, I'm going to end up, holy shoot, in another map. Just pull that down, and again, we'll click here in the spawn area, and there they go. All right, so I'm going to save that. Let's see how that works, and let's see how it looks for the actual user. Go back to our interface. And so as soon as I hit save, and as soon as I move my little avatar, it will show up. I mean, we'll go over here, and the save effect should have happened. Hey, what's this dude doing? Walk right up. Hey, Dragonborn. Hey, pardon me. Have you seen any dragon fruit for sale by chance? No, I haven't, dude. This is a gaming convention, not a organic food market. So, again, there's design mechanisms, token, and I was having problems linking its website to it before. So that might not have been a good example. But anyway, the portal should be here. And great, I hit it, I'm in the portal, and I've spawned exactly where I want to spawn. Let's click on the mini map, and the map pops up. So if I was just, a user coming into the map, great. What I would also put up would be like a sign or actually another token that would be fairly easy to do. I go back into my map maker, go back into the king's room, and go back to the spot where people are spawning. And I want to put my object in there. So select objects, go into the object tab, more objects, and I'm going to upload the token so people know they're in the design mechanism space. Go into my vendor alley stuff where I've made all my tokens and find my token. So for these tokens, I've used the vendors' logos. I've made them with, I think everyone who does gaming knows this token maker website. Just pop it up. I always just do a search. Can never remember its name. rolladvantage.com. They have a free token maker. And I think this is exactly what Spawn of the Cyclops did. You just default to the standard D&D kind of ring drag their logo on, save the token, and that's what you see here in my file browser box thing. Sorry, I've already done one of these tutorials and I'm getting a little tired, but you can see it here, yeah, in the OBS. You see all the tokens I've made for the site. So I'm just going to go ahead and drag the design mechanism token in. Now I've experimented, as you can see, 50 pixels, 70 pixels, 100 pixels, and the default is about, I think it's 256 by 256 pixels when you pull off the token maker website. I find 100 has been a good size for the festival map. And again, sometimes depending on how you sized your map, the tokens may look different. So you're going to have to play around with it a little bit. Everything really depends on your map and how it looks. But we'll give it a go. We'll just do a note. Welcome to the design mechanism store or booth. Let's call it a booth because we won't be doing any transactions through our site. It's just a booth that helps link to the vendor's already existing web store. Right, I'm going to just give that like a 6. So it lights up whenever anyone pops in. And there you go. So the tokens is right there. So when people come in, we can just put the token right there and see how that goes. We're going to save it. We can go back to our map, see what our interface is. You don't see it yet, but as soon as I take a step with my avatar, there it is. It's fairly visible. You can see the logo. You can interact with it. Welcome to the Design Mechanisms booth. And then you can now have the person kind of run around and explore. Now you see that some of the walls are impassable because I set up the red impassable function. But this one shouldn't be. Should be able to walk in there. And hopefully you can walk in there. And then they see the object with the Mythros. And I'm not happy with how visible that is, but this is just an example. And again, in this case, we have a problem with the website not allowing its address to be embedded. So not the best example I could have taken, but I was just going with the whole fantasy theme. But if you were going to do it again, you'd want to have your products listed. You could even actually, if I go back, I would think maybe I would embed a better picture of it, maybe even, so that people could see that particular product a little bit better, or even embed text about what it's about right there. So that's how you could set up a map that could be used as a storefront. You could actually do cool things on the map, adding, like I said, traps or NPCs to it. So if I wanted to add, say, a Minotaur, maybe this is the Minotaur's kingdom throne. Again, we can go online and, again, keeping in mind, people's copyrights and all that sort of stuff. I can look for a Minotaur pixel character that would fit with the whole vibe of Gather Town. Go to it, save it, save the image wherever you want to on your computer. Go back to the graphics editor, Pixlr.com. And again, it's free, so why not use it? You can get rid of that sort of stuff. You can see that I've already made it, but I'll get rid of it. And we'll do it again. Because I like this program a lot, because this program makes transparencies very easy to work with. Actually, let's load up the the part that hasn't been edited just yet. So we're going to do my GatherTown folder. We'll go into pixel tokens. We'll go into the web where I saved it, and we'll go take the non-transparent image and we'll load it up. So what I like about this is so much easier than like using something like GIMP where you're doing a transparent layer and all this other crap. You just hit the scissors icon for cutting out parts. You go into Magic Cutout, click on that, and click on the white space, and it makes it all transparent. You save it. And again, I'm finding 40 pixels is a really nice size for NPCs. Again, it really does depend on your map. So I would save it. And then let's go back to our map editor and let's drop that Minotaur in as an NPC. So there's our Minotaur. I keep file folders for different sizes. So I've got 32-bit, 32 pixel, 40 pixel, 64 pixel. There's my Minotaur. It's great. So, but first I have to get back into my map maker. Get back to my objects. More objects. Upload. And then drag my Minotaur there. Come on, man. Drag over. We're losing our audience. This is getting boring. All right, there you go. There's your Minotaur. Let's name it. Name it. And give it a script. Welcome to the design mechanics or mechanism booth. Behold worlds of adventure. You break it. Break it. You buy it. Mwahaha. All right, see if that works. All right, and then where am I gonna put the Minotaur? Well, I want to move the Minotaur up. Up, come on, man, we want to move up. We're gonna put this Minotaur on the throne. This is his flying castle, or her flying castle. It could be a female Minotaur fairly easily. And there he is. And we'll just put him on. Wow, pretty big throne for a little Minotaur. I guess I could have made him bigger. Could have probably made him 60, and he would have sat on there quite well. Let's put a save on that. Let's go back to the actual interface. Take a step. There he is. And he lights up because she was within 3 spaces of him. So we're going to have her go closer. There's the Minotaur. X on him. Welcome to Design Mechanisms Booth. Behold Worlds of Adventure. Oh, look at that. There is a limit to how much text you can put on. That's good to know, actually, because I haven't put on. You break it, you break, and then it dies. So that's good to know. So if I go back to the object and I want to, hey, why is that text all screwed up? I can click on the object, look on the right-hand menu, and see what's in the text box and see how far it goes. You break it, and yeah, so there is a limit. So we'll get that out of there. And that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. But now it's changed. We save it. Go back into the actual game or interface. And we'll do it again and see if we got that. And the spelling mistake's been changed. So yeah, I mean, I chatted away a bit, but how long has that been running? Well, I don't know. This has been 20 minutes. As you get used to it, it gets a lot faster, and it's really fast to build these things. Now, I'm happy. So I'm Vixter. one of the organizers, and Trevor and I have been playing around with these, and we are happy to help anyone build a storefront. If you even just want to send us your map and send us images of items that you would like there for your storefront, then we can do that. Again, we're happy to do that, and we're hoping that you will have a storefront that you want to get some of your creative team to kind of build. And what we will also do is if you want to come in and build it yourself, we can set one of your people as a builder so that you can come in and edit the site yourself. Obviously, not screwing with the main maps, but working in on your room. So totally cool. You can totally do that. I think in the other video we showed you how we can set up objects like TV screens that when you get close, because it's linked to a video, it will pop up in a window in your lower left-hand interface, and folks can click on it, and then it will play it there in that little screen. Or you can click on or X on the TV itself, and you can see the video that you've linked to there. So in this case, we've linked to Free League's Blade Runner announcement trailer, because that looks pretty cool, doesn't it? And my, like I said, my internet's a little slow today, but that's going to load up and play. Or it should. Come on, man. Load up and play. There you go. Wow. Wow. A little loud. And the hell with headphones. So that's another way you can have an object, embed it with a link to a video through any promo videos you have for your products. There you go. And here we have this one that is linked to the video for the Aliens game. So yeah, so that is where we're at right now with building maps and storefronts. That's kind of like a quick little tutorial how you can upload your own map, where to find those maps, checking for commercial licenses. On that particular map too, I should have put in, and I will do that right now, an object with the creator's token. You give them credit so that we are complying with their commercial license. And it's such a small, easy thing to do in order to be able to use such high quality maps on the site. Let's see where it is. And there's their watermark. Just upload it and put a little map. Actually, should put a link to their website there. Again, just wanting to have a good experience with all the folks we work with and partner, and give them as much exposure as we can, because we're using their products, and obviously if we're using them, we have a great deal of respect for the products that they are putting out. So we'll just pop and embed their link to their website, save it. It's on our stamp, and we'll put it right there so it's super visible, and save it. If I want to go back and check it, go through the portal, and I will have a portal set up for that. And there it is, and there's their link right there, right in the center, and then people can click on it and come to their website. That looks pretty cool. And still, again, be within our base. So that's how you make a room using a map, and how you put objects in, and how you embed those objects to link to your own websites. Yeah, to create a really cool booth idea. Now, again, you don't have to make your own room to have a booth. You can have it as simple as your token in the booth, like we have with Free League, and just items there. It can be as simple as that. And then if you have a staff member that just hangs around at the con time, and just visits with people and talks to people about new products or answer questions, or even have some of your main creators and writers that are well known, such as Green Ronin has Malcolm Shepard, and Malcolm's going to be coming back and doing, hopefully doing some cool panels for us, and hopefully hanging around the booth when he's not doing panels, so discussing all the stuff he does with Modern Age. That's pretty cool. Anyway, wow. Even I'm bored with myself now. I know building is not exactly the most exciting thing, but I hopefully have kind of showed you some of the functionality of the GatherTown Map Maker and the potential, and really how easy it is to set up a space that will be visually interesting, interactive with the participants, and something you can really have fun with and enjoy. All right, so again, I'm Vixter with RPG Alliance. This is our 4th annual convention, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you soon.